This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins.
Out of 1 billion people that use firewood in the world today, each year 4.3 million of them die from in-house pollution that is generated from the burn of firewood and charcoal. Now, I've had a personal experience with this as my grandmother died from a host of respiratory issues associated with her relying on firewood to prepare daily meals as a result of lack of electricity. And for me, this problem is real and very personal. From our research, we've discovered that women spend at least 2.5 hours each day gathering firewood. Now, this is useful time that could be invested in other activities in order to help generate additional revenue and support their families. I am Maxwell China, and this is Godwin Atiga, my co-founder, and today we are excited to present to you a solution that we've come up with, the Genesis Cooker. The Genesis Cooker is the first solar-powered electric hybrid cooker that runs on 100% renewable energy from the sun, and it's able to cook during the day and the night. It doesn't produce fumes, it is safe, it is clean, and it's reliable. Now, why choose the Genesis? The next voice you hear will be Godwin's.
Why choose the Genesis cooker? The Genesis cooker, compared to our competitors in the market, including the electric stove, the kerosene stove, and the other solar cookers on the market, have high operating costs, no ability to cook at night for the solar cooker. It's on the market currently, and there is poor access to electricity in our primary market, so the electric cookers currently do not function at all, or they have very minimal impact. And to that effect, we've done some very good research in the market. And interesting enough, we have realized that there is a very large target market for us currently in the market in sub-Saharan African region, the developing world that relies on firewood and has low access to stable electricity. In our test market, Ghana, where we'll be piloting this for hopefully, we realized that there are two primary regions where we could work with, between the high and the middle income classes. Between these classes, we've realized that there is the urban user of firewood and charcoal who will serve as our primary consumer. And for our secondary consumer phase, we realized that the rural users will be of very much importance as well because they will receive the biggest impact of our product. Not to talk of the fact that there is a very high economic incentive for them to use this product. It frees them up time, allows them to do their chores, cook their meals without having to worry about the power outages in their areas. So far, what have we done? We have secured and landed some very unique partnerships with the Resolution Project, the Davis Peace Initiative, and the Self-Help International to provide us microfinancing options in these regions. As you know, no product can be completed without a very effective team. And in this regard, we are working with our board, which includes...
Yes, as Godwin rightly said, as we all know, building a hardware product can be incredibly difficult. And thankfully, we have a phenomenal team consisting of co-founders, mentors, and advisors. Now, at Teraoak, my team, we are working steadfastly to reduce the overdependence of firewood in the developing world. We believe at Teraoak that access to renewable energy should be the fundamental right of every human being, regardless of class or socioeconomic background. If you want to learn more about how we are changing the game in the renewable energy sector, please come talk to us after the show. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you for presenting today. You did not talk about the cost. I'm assuming this is a oven that actually stores batteries with the solar so that they can cook in the evening. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so
just one minor adjustment. It's not an oven, it's a cooker.
Okay, a
Yes.
cooker. Okay.
Yes.
So I would talk a little bit more about that. I would talk a little bit about the manufacturing. Do you have an idea of what the cost is going to be to mass produce this, and then what that selling price is?
Yes, we actually do have a whole financial projection on that. At the very preliminary stages of our demonstration of our prototype, the manufacturing costs are $225, and we'll be selling it for $265 for the pilot phase.
And how much of, how does that $265 compare to the income of that average family that can afford that?
So currently in the region, the average monthly income of people in the area is $300. Hence, we're providing them with financing options through the reservation fellowship and possibly through that, which will be getting partnerships through either Impact U or the reservation project.
Okay, okay. That's all I have.
Good. I was just thinking about that because I had similar questions about. Well, first off, good job. You know, again, just like Jared, it's great to be able to stand up and present your idea. I think that's great. I was a little unclear. Have you created this cooker yet?
Yes, we do have a minimum viable prototype. Products that we currently have that proves the concept that it's functional.
Right.
We have a pending patent application as to the technology as well. So in that regard, with NDAs, we cannot really disclose the technology to that extent. But yeah, we do have a proof of concept.
Right. Because I mean, you guys are inventing something. You know, so it's all the kind of the business aspects of it are sort of virtual until you actually have the actual product. It's not to me, it's not as much like a software app or something like that. I mean, in that you could throw enough code at something to do just about anything, you know, on a computer, but you're actually inventing something that has to work. So obviously you know that, but and it was unclear to me as to whether you had actually could you bring this in and show us it work, you know, show it work, put it out in the sun for 3 hours and then cook something?
We have actually tested it out and realized that it works. Currently we have a prototype like I stated. We are just here in the incubator as well to modify the prototype to increase the efficiency of the battery technology as well. So it works. We've tested it out, have the data. We've actually used it in cooking some college meals and noodles. We have a video we could show you if you come to us.
Right. That would be great. Just to mention that, you know, if you got 5 minutes, obviously you're not going to be able to demonstrate it, and this isn't the right audience. But referring to that video too, another thing I liked about you had at the tip of your tongue the average income of your audience. You know, because that was my question as well. Because I don't know anything about the African market, you know, but it was something that I thought of immediately was like the people that could most use this, can they afford it, or is it even possible? And you've obviously done some thinking about that, and maybe even in a 5-minute presentation you might want to say a sentence or two about, because there's inventing the thing and then there's distributing it, and it might just be two completely separate businesses. Because what little I do know about the African market is there's a lot of complexity, and partnerships would be, I would think, extremely important, you know, and also the ability to get through all the various government red tape and things like that to be able to, you know, to be able to market and distribute this platform.
And you know, user adoption is going to be a real big challenge too, because now you have generations of family that they've cooked the way that they've cooked for eons, right? And now they're using some newfangled device to stop them from having to gather firewood or use charcoal. But you might want to think if your battery has the capacity, it can have other uses, maybe charge cell phones or provide additional lighting sources within the house, so it has more than just one value, because really at the heart of it is the battery itself, correct? And so, yes.
Yeah, that is correct. And to add to what you're saying, our primary focus is eradicating the overdependence on firewood. Mm-hmm. However, as a part of our growth plan, we intend to set up solar-powered charging stations in the region, which ties into what you were saying about the battery being able to charge other things. So we do recognize the possibilities, the numerous possibilities with deploying this product. but we want to focus on just eradicating the over dependence on firewood first, and then we expand from there.
Great.
And to answer your question about the change, the World Bank has actually done some research with the Clean Cook Schools initiative, and it's realized that there is a 95 susceptibility to change in case any viable product is being introduced. Because even with the medical solar cookers out there in the ovens in the market right now, the people who are buying is just not working for them.
Mm-hmm.
So why not give them something that will work for them, that's still worth their money?
Great. Thank you.
How about the audience? Yes.
How does Acon's initiative to provide solar energy affect you guys' ability to get the product to market, or does it help by any chance?
I'm sorry?
Can you stand up so we can hear you? Thank
Are
you.
you aware of the initiative Acon has to bring solar energy to 6 million Africans in the area? How does that initiative affect your ability to get the product to market? Or does it help at all? Because I know he's looking
Right.
to work with
Yeah.
individuals who got innovative ideas, so every guy look at that, because that could be a really strategic partnership that can help with that initiative.
Yeah, we do intend, it would be great if we get the opportunity to partner with him, but I feel as though where we have the primary advantage over other initiatives that are coming, other solar initiatives that are upcoming and existing solar initiatives, as it stands, is that our product is able to function during the day and the night. So it basically works around the clock. And we are really counting on our battery to really differentiate us from other initiatives out there. And as Godwin rightly mentioned, the World Bank already did a solar initiative in 2012. And also there's the Global Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves, which primarily focuses on sub-Saharan African region to create awareness about cooking with solar, and also help distributing existing solar cookers, which are just basically traditional solar cookers that you have to cook outside, and it's inconveniencing to the users. And another advantage of our product is that you don't have to cook outside. The solar cells trap the sunlight outside, and you just cook in the convenience of your home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Max and Godwin, thank you very much.